Hey, my mate. Okay, so we'll get into that back tilt for the driver. I'll talk about that in a second. But we're very close. Obviously, all the videos we're reviewing, huge improvements. I mean, obviously, there's improvements in the shots, the scoring last week as well. So I'm very happy. But we keep pushing. And I know you think about this and all day, every day. While you should be flying planes, you think about golf swings. Anyway, right. So look, we've got to get this takeaway sorted. That is number one, and I think I find it quite interesting. Obviously, sometimes when you make really, really good transitions, but you still manage to hit it a little bit out the heel. So that's just quite interesting. But try and keep doing that one that I told you about, where we're trying to get the left wrist to hold that flexion, because then if you hold the flexion, the club head will stay on plane and in the right strike position. Okay, when you lose the flexion, see, I'm not moving anything else. Okay, the club gets a little bit outside the line. Okay, anyway, you're going to hate me a little bit, but what I want you to do, okay, I want you to warm up and I want you to stand ridiculously close to the ball. Okay, not wedges, maybe 8 iron, 7 iron, something like that. So I want you to take your normal setup, okay, and I want you to shuffle really, really close to the ball, uncomfortably close, okay, and start off slowly, like little half swings, okay. All right, and just feel whether you can control your height, okay, control your arm depth and find the middle of the golf club. Okay, and then start stretching the length and speed as you go. So as you get more comfortable, it's normal setup, that's too close, get comfortable. Okay, and see if you can find the middle of the face without thinking too much. I mean, obviously send me videos without thinking too much. Now, obviously from here, it's going to be very hard to dip from here. Okay, it should move the swing plane a little more upright as well, which is good. And then obviously from there, if you kick it out, okay, you're going to catch the heel a lot. Okay, so when you're doing this, you don't have to think about those things necessarily. You can certainly try and feel your hip to help get create a little bit of space and obviously create that lag. Okay, but otherwise, just really focus on hitting the middle of the golf club. If it's slightly manipulated for now, don't worry too much about that. Okay, definitely try and feel your height, but just focus on being really still, okay, and where the golf club is. Okay, and I hit it out the middle of the club from that setup position that's too close. Okay, right, then from there through the bag, including drivers we spoke about today. Height control is getting better. It's not perfect, but it's getting better. Okay, arm depth is looking good. All right, just that club head still a little bit low. Okay, so we just got to let that club head, set up there a little bit earlier, okay, before we finish that swing. Now remember, when you're finishing that swing like we did last week, okay, we're finishing the swing this way, we're not finishing the swing this way, okay, but mostly take away. All right, okay, so just work hard on those two for me, please. Take away and then too close to the ball drill. Right, let's talk a little bit about that driver. Okay, again, obviously the height control is pretty good. The takeover is a little bit under, but you got it back online on the downswing. So why was it going so horrible? Right, so we're talking about back tilt. Okay, back tilt is essentially this angle here. Okay, so forward bend is this angle of your spine. Back tilt is this angle of your spine. Okay, theoretically you could have forward tilt, but that would be a reverse pivot, right? Okay, so back tilt is this angle here. Now, when we set up, we always have a little bit of back tilt, and that's because we grip the club right under left. So the right shoulder is always lower than the left, so you're always going to have a few degrees of natural back tilt. Okay, but as you get wider and the ball position goes forward, okay, without changing anything, just by leaving the golf club in the middle of the golf ball, you'll add back tilt. Okay, so if that is, say that's a wedge, very little back tilt. Okay, that's a 7 iron, a little bit of back tilt. Okay, that's a sort of 4 iron, something like that, quite a lot. And then when we get to driver, okay, now we got almost 10 degrees, maybe a little bit more of back tilt. All right, so why is that important? Okay, because basically it matches the angle of rotation. Okay, but in terms of our swing circle from the side-on perspective, okay, it also dictates our low point. So it does dictate our angle of attack to a certain degree. All right, so lots of back tilt, very shallow angle of attack, no back tilt, steeper angle of attack. Okay, but also controls our low point. All right, now obviously driver, we are trying to be shallow, so we want a bit of back tilt. We're trying to bottom out before the ball, so we want a bit of back tilt. Okay, and then that allows us to then release through that golf ball, right? So obviously from the down the line angle, but I can still tell a little bit of it. I'd mentioned in your setup that maybe a little bit in your left leg, you weren't quite sort of balanced and set up with that driver. Okay, but definitely by the time you hit it, you're very on top of your legs with little or no back tilt. And that angle of attack of the driver was quite steep. Okay, and then we released it down and across. Okay, so you hit that thing, hit that driver like from about there, no, from about there. Little open, little upright, and then you released it hard and left. Okay, so you're hitting kind of down on it and then closing the face late. So that's why they're going there. Okay, angle of attack and low point creating the descending blow, the downward strike, and then excess face rotation creating the right to left spin. Okay, so what we're trying to do, okay, we're trying to stay behind it basically by adding back tilt or lowering the right shoulder, same thing. Okay, and then releasing it past our body. Okay, ideally with not too much face rotation, but that's not too much of a problem right now. Okay, so we're trying to release the club, the driver, there, not there. Okay, so do some drivers, okay? I would say don't add too much back tilt in the setup, okay, but feel like you add a little bit of back tilt, okay, in the downswing. Okay, if you overdo it a little bit at first, that's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, but it'll be quite hard to overdo. If you hit a couple of toe strikes and a couple of push, even if they're big pushes, even push fades, then you're on the right track. You're kind of doing the right thing. You're just not quite matching that back tilt and the rotation. Okay, so we want a little bit of back tilt, and then obviously we still want to rotate through. Okay, but start with the back tilt and just see what's kind of happening, and obviously send me some videos. Okay, let me know if that all makes sense. You understand? Give it a bash, and then you obviously got your other two drills as well to keep plugging with the swing. All right. I mean, I was going to say irons. That's why I'm not finishing my sentence, but it's not. It's the same with driver and 3-wood and irons and wedges and everything. It's all the same. Okay. So you've got your other drills to do swing work, and then this one is an added thing just for the driver. Okay. Thank you, my mate. I will talk to you soon, and let me know if you need anything.